I was like, oh. Okay, so they're just really mad. I made them really mad.
I don't understand this. I really don't, but whatever. It's not my expertise. It's way out of my pay grade. I don't need to understand it.
There's some damn dumb fuckery going on here, Jeff. This is beyond. Like, this is just walking right into it with both their feet. I can't believe an adult would actually approach something this way.
I had full faith in you, but we are human after all.
As well as just be willfully ignorant because they don't want to watch longer than 5 minutes of a video. But that's none of my business.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh. I turned mine. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So I made
Did
sure
you get
mine's
it?
off. So.
Go to the non sequitur show because I changed it earlier, but I guess it didn't go over, so it didn't save properly. So if you see a half a second of black screen over on non sequitur, that was me.
Oh,
Whoops.
that's like
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, is it?
No,
It might be muted still for you.
It shouldn't be. It should be good. Hello, everybody hear me? Check.
I hear you.
We also may or may not,
Well,
if
yeah,
somebody
we hear
can
you.
check for me that we're actually streaming in HD. We might be, we might not. We'll have to see.
So it goes to
looks good
720.
to me.
Ah, so it's 720. Damn.
Well, that
no.
also might be. I'm wondering if it caps out at the weakest. Well, I know my version of Sony will cap out at the weakest camera, which would be mine.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll see
Yes.
when this is over. Right now, it's giving me a resolution of 1920 by 1080, so it should be working. But
Okay, so mine's stopping at 720, but that's okay. My
Yeah,
internet
Mine is
also
giving 1080,
is
so-
a yikes.
Anyway,
Oh,
well,
there we go. I just 1080 just showed up. Perfect. Okay.
yeah! Oh my god, I did it. I was fighting with that
Yay.
over because we wanted non-sec to be in 1080, and it wasn't working. So it took me a little while to go hunting to see if I could find it and where it was and get it rolling. But it looks like we've succeeded, and there should be way less lag because we were having lag trouble over on non-sec, and I do believe with a little bit of help from RNGD Gaming that I've managed to fix that, except for Manya, who is now... Manya is actually using the regular streamline rather than the advanced streamline, because the advanced streamline was actually lagging her out. Production!
There you
So,
go.
we're currently, as you may be able to tell by the black screen in the corner, we're missing Erin. We're not sure where she is, but she's got the link, so she can join us whenever she's ready. She'll just pop in. Her audio's already set. Her video's already set. So if she comes in, she'll just appear. So,
Yep.
but how is
Been a
everybody?
crazy week. Let's hope. Oh,
Good.
Everybody?
Woo.
woohoo!
Yeah.
Like everybody all at once. Yeah.
Whoa.
Hi everyone, I'm Dad. Yeah.
Better.
I
No.
we had something very interesting going on for us. We had some people who are in favor of choice protest outside my workplace, and they were part of a workforce. So these are people who don't want to be told that they have to get vaccinated and that they will lose jobs if they don't get vaccinated, because our company, this decision is being driven by a corporation that for mandatory vaccination for COVID. So if you want to, if you want to have a job, you will have to get vaccinated. And even if you want to be considered for employment, like for if for a job application for my company now, it's the rule. It's going to be a mandatory rule to be vaccinated. So it was interesting. Like we had some one or two of the workers who organized the protest, their family members came up, some ex-employees of the company. That's funny how it works. Turned up. All in all, around 75 to 100 people for an hour or two. But what I don't know if I should be surprised or not, but it was very peaceful. Maybe because it's New Zealand, we don't believe in getting in people's faces and screaming,
Laughs in French
whatever you want to.
Canadian. Yeah.
So it was peaceful. They got their message across that they don't want to be told. It shouldn't be mandated. We are still in the stages of consulting with the workforce regarding the vaccination
See, I'm from
policy.
the province that said if you don't get vaccinated, you have to pay a tax. Like, I'm from the place that, like, I've heard that, like, there's been that discourse, like, all over the world. They're like, this random place in Canada is charging people to not. That's where I'm from. That's been a moment. Yeah,
if I remember correctly, Quebec, like that whole province, was also like really slow in their COVID reaction right out the gate. Like when it first popped up, they were super slow about doing anything, and then once they decided to do something, they did everything.
And then like Quebec's always stayed pretty hard on the like response once it occurred, and because they only had a 78 or 80% vaccination rate, even with the restaurant like blocking all the fun stuff without the vaccines. So Legault's like, "Bay everybody, I've had enough of this, and donc you pay taxes on the no vaccines." Because his accent in English is absolutely awful. So that happened.
In New Zealand, it's funny with the position I work in. You get very familiar with the privacy laws and the laws, the employee relation laws also, because you work closely with the HR, and it's funny. In New Zealand, you can't make a big policy change, especially as big as a company mine with like multiple sites and almost like I think so 4,000 of workforce. So you can't just make a change without consultation, and that's what's happening. But other places like hospitals, medical facilities, and all that. And I think so even schools, it's been made mandatory now. They've swept it across and they've made it mandatory there. But for the private companies, it's still an option. They can consult and come up with a policy. So yeah.
Oh no, here it's like if it's a restaurant, an entertainment, if it's not like a grocery store, or you're being admitted to a hospital or something like that, it's you have to have one, or both. And then I guess eventually the boosters as well.
And some workplaces have at present they're asking for our vaccine passes. So we get generated a vaccine pass depending on when we got vaccinated. So
the vaccine
I'm due for a booster. I'm due for a booster
here in the
so they ask for vaccine
here in the
passes.
States.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
They're actually rolling back mask mandates in the schools right now, while more children are getting sick every day. And they are vaccinated. A lot of children are vaccinated here. But especially here on the East Coast, it was quite disconcerting because we're having an outbreak, even of vaccinated people coming down with COVID. And, it's harder on smaller bodies, I would think, just like the elderly. So it just doesn't make much sense to me. The rolling back of some of these mandates doesn't make any sense while everybody's coming down with COVID. It just, it's like they're giving up. They're just tired of fighting. I don't know. It's
I think so. It's that
you just can't convince them.
Yeah, I think so. It's people are tired of fighting. They're fatigued because they want to go back to the normal that was, and there's no. By the looks of it, there's no end to it. But I think so with Omicron, it's finally coming to an end because this one is a milder version of COVID. It spreads more quickly, but it's less potent than the Delta variant. So And I know this because I have trained in all this shit. So
yeah, my only thing is I just get worried about like you can still get Delta, right? Is mostly the problem.
yes, you can still get Delta.
And then
So
like
Yes,
Delta
you
will
can
take
get
out
Delta.
those of the delicate lungs, such as myself. And
Yeah.
it's also like I have to get my booster like 18 hours before I take my grad photos. Like I have to get my booster at like 3 p.m. the
Oh,
day, and then I
no.
have to be up for 7 a.m. to go to get my university grad photos the next day.
So I ended up.
Gonna be.
So I
I have a
don't
light.
tend to go out and about. I live in a basement. I stay in a basement. I exist in a basement. So I don't tend to actually go anywhere. So I'm relatively safe. I'm vaxxed, but I haven't gotten the booster yet. I've only had one opportunity to actually like go and grab it, and that was the day that non-sec went live. And I was like, I cannot do both of these things. I'm gonna be doing vmix for the first time. It's the first time back with non-sec. We're not having like this is a normal room. Once it's set up, I can kind of just let it go. But because everything we were doing was not normal, I needed to be on the ball for like I was the only mod at first in the chat. I'm like, I cannot do all of these while I have like sick person brain.
Right.
Like this is not happening.
Not.
So, I haven't gotten boosted yet, basically, is what I'm getting at.
It was the only appointment I could find in the region. So
a little bit limited depending on where you are.
Yeah.
I'm like you, Chesh. I don't go out very often at all. I was actually under quarantine from a scare from my grandchild's school had a COVID outbreak right before Christmas. And so we were all keeping away from each other. Right. And then come right after January, I got it anyway. And who knows who brought it or who did it or who what? Everybody tested negative. We have no idea. But
rough.
You know, it's gonna find you.
The Americans getting 4 tests a household. And then
Canada the United States Post Office, there's a link you can actually go to, and they'll send four of the antigen, the rapid test, which is good if you're just clearing. I wouldn't use it to clear yourself if you've already had COVID and you're trying to find out if you're not anymore, because I got a false negative and it set me back pretty pissed off for a little while. So,
the province of Ontario, the premier gave out rapid tests at the liquor store.
What? Hey, you know what? That's a great idea, though. Actually, that's a fantastic idea.
They gave them out at the liquor store, and then like now you can't get like any tests really. It's like, oh, if you're like super chronically ill, then like maybe you can have one if we like you that day.
It just depends on how we're feeling.
Which is just awesome.
No, we could still get them, and they can be paid for by your insurance, or if you don't have insurance, you can still get a test. But you got to go through some hoops to get it. You got to sign up through some of these pharmacies and get into the lines, or go to the hospital. Go to a hospital or an outpatient clinic.
Yeah, I'm glad. Like it sucks that Claire, that happened to you, but I'm glad you're feeling like at least well enough to be able to visit with us today. Make it on.
Yeah, I feel actually better than I have in quite a few weeks.
That's because you're hanging out with us.
Well, it's always nice to have company, and I've missed. I don't know. I guess I'm addicted because damn, it was hard to stay off YouTube for all this time.
I mean, really. The thing is like a lot of the time the shows that you're on, the shows you do, are things that you want to do and they're fun, right? And so when you have something that you do regularly, it becomes habitual. It becomes like a thing that you enjoy doing. That's part of your life, and then you don't get to do it for a little while, and it's rough.
And it sucks. Yeah, it's like you're missing conversations with people you used to have regularly. I do hereticals on Friday mornings really early.
I love hereticals. I am just asleep.
I did that first thing this morning. That was the first thing I've been in a week. It was my first panel, and I miss those guys. They're so funny, and they're intelligent, warm, welcoming. For me, it was a good part of coming into the atheist community without having to be
shit on like what happens to a bunch of us.
You mean what happened to me?
Well,
and I'm like,
and
y'all
me.
messy, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was getting an email that was like, hey,
for me there was no
like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. What the fuck?
Like,
yeah. Like
I'm
for me
go
there was no place.
James Charles.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Is James Charles an atheist?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, James Charles. Is he an atheist? That's safer. It is.
Does anyone care?
Yeah. No,
I hope not.
That's just it. That way we would be okay, because nobody gives a shit if James Charles is an atheist or not. Nobody cares. Yeah. Actually, that might be breaking. We should start a route. That would be breaking news. Yeah.
Right. Let's just start making things up about people. Speaking of, so the show that we got planned today is to talk about some of the lovely ladies that are kind of sort of outspoken in the, I guess, Republican right-wing side of America. And so just to give everybody a little bit of a little bit of an understanding,
way of saying it.
I'm Canadian, Mika's Canadian, Claire is from America, Manya's from New Zealand, and Erin, if and when she gets here today, is American. So keep that in mind, that the right wing in Canada is not even close to, it's like closer to your Democratic Party than it is.
If there are right wing people that are close, they move to America.
Right. That's where you get Ted Cruz from.
That's right.
And Ted and guy that sounds like Kermit. They're Jordan Peterson is also
yeah. Kermit the Frog.
You need to take them both back. You need to take them back. You need to take them back.
The reason why they go to America is because they know they won't succeed in Canada.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson's done okay at the University of Toronto, but that's because Toronto mans are a whole other breed.
I did a video covering, yeah, Toronto's a place. There's a whole nother, I did a whole video a while ago covering the Canadian version of Nick Fuentes, because there's a Canadian version of that guy who does his show and his channel out of his parents' basement, and he's just like, Mom, the internet's not working. And him and his friends got labeled as a terrorist group in Canada, like almost immediately. Like they had one time they got together and they were like, but they were making threats and shit. And Canada, the government was just like, no, just no.
Yeah. Oh golly, yeah. I always forget Stephen Crowder, our Quebecois king.
Yeah, oh right.
My God,
people do not know that he's Canadian.
Montreal too is like a super liberal place.
That's why he's not. Like, that's why he's not there.
No, I was like, how did you exist like that? Like, how did you get like punched in high school?
He did. Okay. Have you heard him talk about his experiences in high school? He was bullied.
Never mind, redacted. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, he was absolutely bullied in high school. But.
Right.
Anyway, we're gonna talk about some lovely ladies. I believe we have Caitlin Bennett on the chopping block. We have Candace Owens, and we have classically Abby, which is Abby. I don't know what her current last name is because she's married, but she's Ben Shapiro's sister.
Well, she's yeah.
She's Ben Shapiro's sister.
Yep.
There's a couple of things these women all have in common, and that I find a little bit interesting is their age range.
Her name's Abby Roth, by the way.
Roth, yes.
Roth, right.
Wife of a Roth the Patriot. I haven't actually looked at her husband.
Oh, that'd be a whole other episode. The husbands. Yeah. Oh, geez. Then there's the girl defined husband that Jimmy Snow thought went to conversion therapy, and then there was that whole thing. Oh, God.
I still want to talk to them about purity culture, because I think that's a whole discussion, because I don't really see anything wrong with purity culture itself. I just see issues with people forcing purity culture on other people and like their approach to it. It's like, hey, listen, if you decide the way you want to live your life, do that. Live your life however you want, but don't be not educating children because you want to bring them into your fold. Like, that's not cool. So are there ways to approach purity culture that's a little bit more healthy and a little bit safer? But that's a conversation for another day. Today we're talking about these three lovely ladies. Mika brought this to our attention, and we all cried. So we're blaming her for this.
It's migraine central for a week now, but
Yeah, I apologize.
It's interesting at least. But no, it was eye-opening actually. The controversy, the hypocrisy, the judgment. Oh God. Do we
have?
It was a lot.
Do we have like opening thoughts? Do each of us have like an opening thought for each one of them? Because I had a couple of takeaways that were like my initial like where my brain went. Do you guys have? Did you guys have that of like an overall of kind of what you get from the person?
Not in a very nice way right now.
No. Fair.
Oh, I thought being nice wasn't at the front of our minds here.
It's not.
Well, I know I wasn't trying to be like nice, but I wanted to be like fair. So I figured we would let other people learn about them a little bit before we came out with my harsh statement.
Really? See, because I was gonna say like really Caitlin Bennett is Alex Jones with big old bitties, and then
you're gonna kill me.
And then like classically Abby is like
no.
Is like centrist cuck, and then like Candace Owens is like it's just shuffling the oppression deck every single day, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah,
like, I wasn't nice. Like my first round of thoughts are not always nice
today.
That's fair.
Yeah,
exactly.
Except like the one that's like relevant and is actually a thing, right? Like or two, I suppose.
Right. Oh, but that she won't admit to at all. Like that's not happening. Like that's not happening at all. Okay, no. Oh my God. You're so right. Those were spot on. Like they got nothing to say.
I guess, yeah.
When I read about Caitlin Bennett, I was at first impression you kind of go like, okay, they're a typical Republican, they're conservative, and they've got conservative views. But then you start digging, and then you find these instances where they've either made tweets or they've made statements which you go like, what? And then you have to, for Caitlin, I thought you have to really dig into to kind of get what the controversial parts are. She's very good at hiding those away, I guess. With what's Ben Shapiro's sister's name?
Abby,
yeah.
Abby.
But Abby, like, I think so. It was Mika who said it. That for some reason, she kind of hates women who are independent and strong, like independent women. She does not like them for some reason.
Yeah.
Or women who stand up for themselves. And the first lady, I never heard of it till like yesterday. So I'll follow Mika regarding that. So yeah.
My first impressions was I watched a couple of interviews and read some like articles that I was mostly reading stuff that they had put out. I didn't want to look at too much about what other people were saying about them. I wanted to get their sort of direct. And I got the impression I got of Caitlin Bennett was she comes off as kind of griftery to me. And like she contradicts herself a lot. And her argumentation is just makes no goddamn sense. So I have like, she says stuff and I'm just like, I don't believe you.
Yeah, because
right.
She said something like, oh, I used to be atheist and it wasn't because I get to, for me, like people say that people are atheists because, you know, they get to be sinful and all that they can get to ignore Bible. And then in the next sentence, she's like, oh, I was an atheist because then I didn't have to think about after that death. And I was like, did you just contradict yourself one sentence there? And then she goes on and talks about pardon? What?
Every interview, like every statement she does.
I just found like I try not to pick on people's conversion stories one way or another because it's just like I don't care. Whatever, you can have whatever faith you want. I don't care too much. But I do start to question when you say most people didn't realize I was an atheist when I was watching when they were watching my content. But then I was getting attacked because people didn't think or thought I was an atheist, but people weren't attacking me because they thought I was a conservative. But now people don't know, and it was just like you want to have your cake and you want to eat it too, and it sounds to me like you just want to have the position that is most advantageous for whatever it is you're selling.
Right.
I just love when diehard Americans, she's presenting some sort of Latin Catholic, right? But she's like diehard for like church and state, which Americans were like the church and state they were talking about Protestantism. They don't like the Catholics. Like, I just think it's so. I just thought that was so interesting. Also, she's Catholic, and I'm like, oh.
I was watching
someone like French people are Catholic.
Yeah,
and like my family is like generations upon generations of Catholics. So I just thought that was so interesting. I was like, oh, girl, that's not the same church and state. Going forward. Like,
there's something that I heard, and I was just like, the balls that you have to say this, and it was the person that was actually interviewing her, and I can't remember who it was, but they had said that being Catholic, they were like the minority and they were oppressed, and I'm like, the Catholic? You have your own country. What are you talking about?
We're talking.
You're wrong.
And I'm like, listen, have your faith, that's fine, but like, what kind of persecution complex do you have to be like, no, I'm Catholic, my religion is oppressed? What? What world are you living in?
And also, like, I came across, I think so, I put it in the in our DMs. I came across our interview with Logan Paul, if I'm not one of the Paul brothers.
Yeah, Logan Paul.
Yes,
that was with
Logan.
Caitlin.
Yeah, and it was about her statement that she made about TSA. She said that it shouldn't be mandatory. She was going for this Republican stance of conservatism, that everything government should have less role to play in different parts of people's lives. And then she was like, oh, TSA should be privatized. And
how do you said they had a 95% fail rate, she tried to say.
Yeah.
Like, where do you get that data
like, and you're like, what?
She couldn't say.
And why are you saying something like that if you don't know where that data came from?
Well, it's not even like there's that, but like the ramification. Like, I'm for the government not overstepping and not being in places the government ought not to be. However, TSA and like travel on airplanes is international. How are you going to privatize that without turning it into accidentally a monopoly?
Yeah, and it's like you've already seen what it has done to healthcare, right? And it's horrible. And then and to make, and also, like, how do you know that it won't be used as a weapon against people, like political people in politics and against citizens? How it can be used right now also, but when it becomes privatized, it can be used even further.
I mean, there's already problems when it comes to like the different airlines, right? Like Boeing has some serious problems, and the reason why Boeing has so many problems is, well, now is because they got caught, and the government's like, okay, so we need to do an investigation. We need to charge you. You need to pay this amount of money because we found that you failed to do this, 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 and this, which are all checks that are government regulated. And those government regulated checks are very important because they're safety checks. And so if you go and you want to privatize something like that in its entirety, then you have to trust that the companies aren't going to cut corners in health and safety, which is not exactly... American companies aren't exactly well known for not doing those things. But then people are like, but then people won't want to take your airline because people aren't going to think it's safe, and you'll lose money and you'll fail as a business. But then they're going to get government bailouts. Well, make up your fucking mind. Do you want it to rise and fall via capitalism, or do you want the government to step in? Pick a lane.
Yeah.
Right.
Government already stepped in. Why do you want the government to step out and step in and at a very disadvantageous position where they are using taxpayer money to bail these companies out?
No, hey, the taxpayers don't want to use the people. The taxpayers don't want to use this service, and so it's going under. So let's use the taxpayers' money to save it. What?
Right.
Yeah. Also famously too, like in Canada, privatization doesn't do the best most of the time.
Yes.
It's like how Ontario privatized their hydro services, and it went way, 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 way up.
Ugh.
Like, And then
It
even then,
doesn't work
like
well
where I
here
live,
either.
the rate changes like almost every month.
Yeah.
Like they don't even know what they're doing. They're like, how mad are people at us right now? So let's move it around.
And the government
so
also
weird.
stepped in and made it a requirement that even if you live off grid, you're not allowed to live off grid. You have to have a line going to that property, right? So like it different places in Ontario.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like so now you're requiring that people have to subscribe and pay for this service from this private group that they're not even using. And so there's a minimum fee that they get charged every month that they're required by law now to have via the government. That is where the government ought not to be. That ought not to be stepping in.
For a private company, that's so weird because it's not even like it's the public one. Like Hydro-Quebec is public, right?
Yeah.
That's so weird. Like you have that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
There's
they did it. It was a huge problem when they did it with apartment buildings. So in an apartment building, the wire, like the electricity goes into the building and then it spreads, right? So to each one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, initially you wouldn't have to pay for that hydro delivery fee because the delivery fee was only going to that one building and then it serviced that building.
Mm-hmm.
They changed it so every single apartment has to pay the delivery fee.
Yeah, and then also you pay a setup deposit, and the one I paid was 150 Canadian dollars to start paying my hydro bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm excited to leave when I'm done this degree.
Canada is not perfect, and Ontario is super duper uber boned. Thanks, Toronto.
Yeah.
It's Toronto. Anyway, Caitlin Bennett is interesting. She just came off as like griftery to me. That I like. She doesn't come off as authentic, I guess. And that's not to say it's not or she isn't. She just doesn't come across that way to me. Her stories don't really make sense. She seems to be self-contradictory. Abby just sounds like she hates herself. Like she sounds like
in general.
Right. Like it's a self-hate. It's like, no, I'm in this position. I should be in this position, and all women should be in this position. Her parents
always gave her shit for like not being Ben.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You're not. Yeah. That's again, I don't know if this is what she actually thinks. This is just the impression. This is just my first impressions. And Candace Owens just comes off as like, I'm tough. Look at me. I'm a victim. Right. That was one of the things that I found Caitlin Bennett saying too, though.
Contrary.
Right. Caitlin Bennett was saying, like, in the interview I was watching, she was talking about how she was being attacked and mobbed by like 400 people, that she purposely went out of her way to show up and go agitate. And then now you're crying that these people were agitated. I don't understand what you're getting at here.
When she shows up to the protest, she wasn't invited to go against the protest, and then was upset that they didn't want her there. That was rich. That was pretty darn rich.
The guy interviewing her was saying like, oh, so you went out to go troll college campuses, and then you were like, exactly. And they got mad at me. Yeah.
Yeah. They actually said, we don't want you here. We don't want to hear you. We don't want to talk to you. They started like throwing water out of the bottles, not the water bottles, but just spraying the water, out at her. And she's like,
yeah, you're going to go to famously liberal places where people learn arguments and structures and functions of conversation, and then proceed to blindside all of those, use grifter speech, and then cry when people don't agree with you. Weird.
Exactly.
That's like going to a dog park with a cat on a leash. Like, it's not a good idea.
I kind of agree with all three of them. Jack says something interesting. Is that I honestly have nothing but pity for Abby. She seems like someone living in her brother's shadow and is being forced to put on this persona that doesn't seem honest or real to her opinions. It seems like between her brother and her family, she's been forced into this box, and she's been forced in this box her entire life.
Yeah, it does seem.
It sucks if that's the case.
The three of them have that in common, is that here they are, they're flexing like they're so tough. Look at us, we're strong, like proud women. While we play victim every chance we get, It's so frustrating. They're pulling that victim card. They're pulling that other against me card. You're just not. It was so frustrating. Over and over again, every interview, every video I was watching, the same thing. Trying to portray that they got it all together. These are the strong women. These are representing of the Republican strong strength here, and then play victim in 2 seconds. It was disheartening to say the least.
What was the one? I
Very
watched
frustrating.
one that I was like, at the very end of like a resounding facepalm that probably could have been heard in New Zealand, and it was Ben Shapiro brought his sister on to use her and her miscarriage and her current pregnancy to further his political agenda. I was just like,
yeah.
And he's just like, well, I only brought you on because I wanted to share this news and how wonderful it is. And it's like, he doesn't even believe that. Listen to him.
And I can't believe she went with it. It's just, well,
it's like,
well, that's Ben. I mean, we don't really expect much from Ben. So
there is nothing I found more amusing to me than him saying he had a doctor wife and vaginas don't get wet. And so everybody was like, your kids aren't yours. And he got trolled by the internet so bad that he went and got a paternity. Yeah, so he went and got a paternity test
to prove it. Because when it comes to Ben Shapiro, vaginas don't get wet.
Shen Shapiro?
It's true. Ben
Shapiro.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my God.
They don't. They don't.
I don't know.
But yeah.
So we have a couple of things to watch and show you guys because we don't want to just talk about people without them here. I mean, it's not like they don't have huge platforms or anything, right?
Yeah. Share our pain. Show them who we're talking about.
All right.
Yeah. Share.
This is all Mika's fault, by the way.
Yeah, that was the vibes. Yeah. That one's my that was my specific suggestion. That's my favorite one. Of course. Was it cooking? Was it something? Yeah, Dems get mad that I cook for my husband. Yeah, she also can't cook. So that's the best part about it. So, I mean, I guess you're making the Dems happy. I don't really understand. But I had a really good laugh from that one. I can't lie.
All right, I'm going to hit play.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank God.
All right, ready?
Let's go.
For today, we're going to be cooking up some liberal tears. I've done it again,
God.
guys. The libs are mad at me. And why? Because I like cooking for my husband.
And I can't cook.
I am right now crying the way she just chopped those onions. She wanted my tears. She got them. You don't chop the onions like that, honey. No.
She's going to lose a finger.
Yeah, oh my goodness. That terrified me.
It's like...
Oh my goodness.
I'm playing this again.
Yeah. What's that? Where's Chef Ramsay? Chef Ramsay should critique this video. He's gonna go nuts.
No, that's why I got such a kick out of this video. This video got the shit memed out of it when it came out. It was like, oh my God, it's so good.
Kind of feel bad for whoever did her makeup in this video, but I don't want to.
She looks, it's like her eyes look like it's sinking into her face.
You don't wear blue eyeshadow and like ash toned lipsticks like that. It makes you look like you're a corpse.
Okay, so that's what it was. I wasn't sure what it was about it, but I was just like, something about this combo in this room, like in the room she's in, that I'm like, who did this?
Because her skin, I do a lot of makeup stuff right too, right? So her skin's like pinky cool toned, but then her powder has a lot of flashback. So she got a cheap powder, so it reflects the light. That's why mine's all the same. That's not flashing on the light.
Sarita,
her face looks really dusty.
Sarita makes a really good point. That braid is thick. That is a glorious braid.
Hair.
That is nice
she
hair.
Definitely has what's that Disney movie like?
She's
Brave,
got hair.
Right?
Brave. Yeah.
Brave.
Like,
yeah. She's got brave red
hair.
Yeah. Yeah. She's got the brave hair. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's hit play.
Because I like cooking for my husband.
I like cooking. What is she trying to do to those onions?
I
I don't know, and I think she's making
prawns.
What is that? Oh, it's prawns.
That looks like
I thought it was gnocchi for a second.
That's macaroni and cheese, if I'm not wrong, or something like that. Is it?
No,
Yeah.
that's seafood.
Prawns? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
seafood going in there.
It's like a seafood dish with it's like a pasta,
some kind of
white sauce.
Old Bay.
It's like patriarchy.
Hi, I'm Caitlin
I think it was
Bennett.
like
Some
seafood
of you guys
Alfredo.
know-
Tastes like patriarchy.
She also notice how like she only put
I
a
like
little bay
that.
seasoning in it, but that's just me though.
I'm just wondering, did she really use those onions or not? Or was she just cutting them for
I don't
the
know.
video?
I didn't see that
I
in
don't
the
think
meal.
so.
Maybe, I don't know.
No.
Because those
So
are
it
really
was just
large, right?
what?
Those wouldn't fit properly.
How do you
Yeah.
make a pasta like that without using garlic?
That also another question.
I have
That's
no
what I said.
idea.
Maybe she-
I
That's
noticed
a
how there's
big
only
question.
Old Bay seasoning.
So I don't think
Okay.
the Dems are mad because you cook for your husband. I think the Dems are just mad.
I
You
think so.
can't
They feel
I think
sorry
the
for your
Italians are
husband.
mad
At
because you
all.
made pasta like
and
that.
you say you can cook. Yeah, it's because
Yeah.
you're misrepresenting. Misinformation
maybe-
there. That's not cooking.
Hold on, maybe let's watch the video. Maybe she like those are just like snippets from her recipe, and we get to see the whole recipe in the video. Maybe.
You just wait.
Me
That's
is
why I
because
think everything
You're
she
too
does is a
kind.
troll.
You're so
Even
kind.
Yeah,
her
fair.
Catholic
You're
are
very
kinda
kind.
trolly. Like,
I like how kind you are. This is nice.
and others know me as the girl with the
really.
microphone that interviews crazy Democrats. If you're wondering why I'm in my kitchen, it's because today I'm
smoking that Caitlin Bennett pack.
gender role as a married woman.
Oh, God.
So just a few days ago, I
no.
posted a photo of me cooking to social media, and I captioned it, "You know what makes me feel the most empowered as a woman? It's not getting an abortion or rapping about WAP. It's being a good housewife and cooking for my husband."
So
They didn't do
so
justice to
she's-
her with the pause, damn shit. I don't know. I
So
cook
she
every
is
single
trying
day.
she's trying to instigate people by saying that
Yeah.
no, actually, I don't mind that statement at all. You know why? Because she's saying that women empowerment for her is not talking about abortion or
Yeah, but
or
we'll
not
get
getting an
further
abortion.
in, but
It's for
I-
her. She's not
Yeah.
saying it's about everyone
No,
else.
she
so-
is. It's the
yeah,
thing
it's like,
is,
give her a minute.
She
But the thing is too,
Give
it's
her
like
a
I
minute,
cook every
yeah.
single day, and then, but then I don't like go
I
and
don't
clean up everything for my toddler boyfriend, in her case, toddler husband, if you can't have any sort of balance, right? Because she works too, right? How if you're a housewife, like you want to be a housewife, a traditional housewife, you can't have a job. That's like against the whole point.
the whole premise.
So it's
yeah.
like you're not doing that anyways, and it's like, so it's like I cook every day, but then I don't like my boyfriend like cleans up after, or there's like a balance there, right?
yeah. You
I'm
trade
not
off.
like his mom.
He did make
is
you
just so
those
ridiculous.
fabulous cinnamon buns
Cinnamon
last
buns.
time.
Yes. Yeah, he said he sat.
I
have no problem.
this time.
no problem
So I'm
cooking for
just-
somebody else, anybody else, but
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
Not like it's got to be my main mission in life. This is the problem. They are trying to state it like duty, not choice. And that is what's
Yeah.
offensive to me.
And also-
every single one of these women is coming off that's a duty. That's something I have to do, or I'm not a woman. And that's bullshit. It's because I
also,
want to
like-
cook for a partner. Go on.
Also, like she's using these words like crazy, for Democrats, and she's using words like
This is-
liberal tears. She's clearly doing it to discredit the other side that she's trying to address or trying to instigate. She's trying to instigate the other side.
Right.
Why would you call the Democrats
it.
crazy?
She's
So,
She's a contrarian. That's why, because that's all she's here is to pick those words, to start that flame, to start that fire, to get her mission, her message across. And
yeah. So but with her tweet also, I'm still giving her the benefit of doubt because she's saying, what makes me feel the most empowered as a woman is not getting an abortion and not rapping about the wet ass pussy So it's for her, it's cooking and being a housewife. And I agree with Mika. Like, if you're a housewife, what are you doing on YouTube and
onions like this?
I think that
it's just like you're against. Like, I don't think she should have to be like do your like work. Totally cool, love that, right? But the whole thing, the whole ideology around the housewife is subservience, and like the whole dichotomy through the like husband and wife is that dependence. That was the purpose of the wife as property. Like when marriage was created, if you're traditional like that, that means you can't be having your own income, your own management of finance, like because you are vouching for that for a tradwife, housewife way of living. That's the thing. So she's like trying to have her cake and eat it too, right? I get money, I get to do whatever I want, I get to do this, but I'm gonna vouch that I cook for my husband. It's like, okay, well then you gotta clean everything. You can't have any money. You can't like, you know what I mean? Bank account gone.
That's such a valid
unless this channel is in her husband's name, that's another thing. Then she's working for her husband, right? Which is also not a traditional housewife.
Very valid point. She's selling a message. She's not even living.
Correct.
They're not living.
Exactly. Nice.
Well, that's like Tucker Carlson being like, I don't get vaccinated, and then they release the thing where like for Fox News you have to be vaccinated.
Yeah,
to work at Fox.
Exactly.
And rules for thee, but not for me.
Exactly, but that was a problem with most of these videos that we saw, not only on Caitlyn, but also on Abby and even Candace. It's worse. This is fun.
It's implying that all you have to do to be a good housewife is cooking for your husband. And it's like, what? Okay.
I don't even have anything to say to that.
Just undermine everything somebody who actually is a housewife actually does around the house, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're actually undermining women who are basically what they do is being a housewife, which I think is totally fine. If you want to be a housewife, be a housewife. I'd be totally okay. You mean I don't have to do anything and I do what I want all day, but do a bunch of cooking and cleaning and all that stuff? I'm pretty okay with that kind of a trade-off. If I didn't have to stress about whatever, I'd be okay with that. But I'm also pretty.
But it's your choice. So. But the thing is, it's choice. They're trying to make it like it's duty instead of choice.
Well, it's also implying. It's also implying that you can't cook for your husband and get an abortion, and it's like a false dichotomy. Right, you can have an abortion and cook for your husband.
I'm gonna do all that.
I'm gonna do all the above.
I'm gonna do all of them. What are you gonna do about that, Caitlyn? I'm gonna do it all. Okay. What are you gonna do?
Well, and the thing is that the getting an abortion or rapping about wet ass pussy, neither of those are necessarily like if that's not your job, then you're doing more to be a proper housewife if that's not a job that you're doing. If it's like a hobby that you picked up, right? So if it's like a hobby that you're doing while being a housewife and it's not your job, none of the things that she listed before being a housewife are excluded from being a housewife necessarily.
Let me just tell you, that's another common thread with all three of them, how upset they are about sex. Like, don't even go there about it.
Sex and
like
they sound like they're in the 47% of women that never.
It was like 1930s or something. Like, God, I'm just like, I thought I lived through all this shit already. Where are they coming from?
All right, I'm gonna hit play. Are you ready?
God,
Let's give her some time. Maybe Manya's right. Maybe I just think that her opinion is being presented as a false dichotomy.
She ain't living it.
It's being a good housewife and cooking for my husband. And boy, did the left go crazy. Let's read some of the replies. It'd be more empowering if you didn't need to please a man to have any worth. But I digress. Voluntary servitude isn't bad, but expecting it as a basis for respect to women is in all cases. Because cooking for my husband is totally the same thing as slavery, right? This guy must think it's slavery to...
He didn't say slavery.
Never
he
used
said
the word slavery.
Servitude.
And he said,
subservience is part of being a housewife. That's like literally the whole point.
And the thing is you can.
So it's a bait and switch.
Yes.
She did a bait and switch.
Maybe.
Okay, now I'm watching you, girl. Now I'm watching you. Okay.
The thing is like you can also be. I don't think there's anything wrong with some willing, like, subservience in a relationship. You have to give and take. So it's okay if in this area you're taking and in this area you're giving. Right? Like that's okay as long as it's healthy, as long as it's communicated, as long as it's fair and understood and everybody agrees to it. I see no issue with that. But
I don't see the
it's
issue.
not servitude. You're not a servant.
Yeah. And I don't see the issue with the reply also. They're saying that if you think that basis for respect is being subservient to your husband, that shouldn't be like that. They're expressing their opinion about her opinion, if I might say. And she's baiting and so she switched it here to slavery. And it's wrong. It's so wrong, and that's dishonest, I think. If she's doing it on purpose, she's doing it on purpose over here. She's not repeating his exact words. She switched to slavery. And I'm just like,
it's a political statement. Everything she puts on that channel is a political statement. It's definitely
like there's no such thing as like the vibes, you know? Like there's no you can't just like have, which I know, like, so there's like theories and semiotics and stuff that like all action and reaction is depicted through language. Everything that exists is a subset of language, right? But like there's also the colloquial saying of like shit's not that deep, bro. And that's like also that, you know, people are like, hey, because like she's being hyperbolic about a victimization that people are like, well, I don't want to be a housewife. It's like, damn, the libs are such a piss off. It was so painful.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is like the trolliest. This is up there for like, this is her trolliest solo video. So that's why I wanted to show this one.
Yeah, I mean, you can't like it again. It's the I instigated people or I baited people, and now I'm complaining that there's right
that they're instigated. Okay,
it's bizarre, and it's like she's trying to pretend like she didn't just go troll. Like even the way she says it, she's like, "Well, I put this out. Let's see what they had to say about it." Ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
twirly mustache, like. She thinks she's making people look stupid. And I mean, maybe to a degree, if you're taking her seriously, you look stupid. I feel like we're not taking her that seriously.
Nah.
All right, let's...
like, please get a warm tone lipstick. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's like all I'm thinking. You look like a corpse, girl. Stop that.
Because he doesn't want to get out of bed. Oh, Subway Rat says... I will never take criticism from someone who calls themselves a subway rat, by the way. Republican women are so easy to control. That's so funny coming from the people that are controlled by whatever they see on TikTok and TV. If it became trendy to respect traditional gender roles, you do it. But
girl,
okay, that's such a false.
Listen,
okay,
I would rather be controlled by television and TikTok than fucking Zuckerberg's Facebook. All right, I'm not about to let this bitch talk on Blue Ivy's internet and like Facebook QAnon supremacy.
Blue Ivy.
I don't know, man. 4chan and Facebook are definitely a lot more than TikTok and television.
I think.
Anyways,
I kind of feel like she didn't disagree with the guy there when the guy said, "Oh, it's easy to, control Republican women." She didn't.
No, she was just like, "No, you're easy to control."
No, you.
No, she didn't say no. She said, "Oh, you are controlled by TikTok and whatever and all that, and who are you to talk about me?" That's what she's doing. But she didn't say, "I'm not easy to control." She didn't say that, so she kind of agrees there. I get. She didn't have a better reply, so she just went, "Oh, but you."
I think this would have been funnier if she said, "Oh, that's really funny coming from somebody whose meals I decide every day."
Yeah.
If
she's in control of that account, that would be something.
I think that would have just been a better troll.
She could have said it. She could have said it like she could have come back with a better reply, like, "Oh, you're telling this to someone who controls what her husband eats every day. You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Something where she has control.
I control
She's
my
talking...
husband's dietary needs. If I want to give him the shits tonight, he's getting the shits tonight.
Shits tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna defrost the shrimp in hot water and curdle the milk. That's his problem.
And that's it. There you go. Aye, nice.
So I have this lovely book that I was gifted for Christmas that I cannot wait to try out, and I am more than happy to cook for friends and family and whoever, because I just enjoy cooking. And it is the Heroes Feast book. Hell yeah.
Ooh.
The official Dungeons and Dragons cookbook. Y'all want some dwarven cuisine? Hell yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's even got like menus for different kinds of taverns across D&D. Elven bread.
Oh.
It's got.
And you got this as a gift.
I got this for Christmas, yeah.
Oh my goodness,
yeah, I got my brother an out-of-print SpongeBob cookbook for Christmas a couple years ago.
Nice.
From like 2003. I found. And then I took a bunch of pictures of the recipes. Some of them kind of slap, I can't lie. Teach you how to make cornbread.
Yeah, there's like a couple of breads in here and braised beef. I want to try the Sword Coast seafood because it's pan-fried knucklehead trout. And like,
sick.
Looks.
I think so. I've had trout once, and it was like.
As long as you cut your onions like this, you are supporting traditional livelihood.
You're gonna be a real housewife and learn a recipe
you're a real
instead
woman
of.
If you cut them like this.
I feel like
cut
just do it right
in the way that you tenderize meat with your fists. Like that's
I feel like she's cheating by using frozen food. If you're gonna be a housewife, I feel like maybe, especially like in that kind of a traditional household like that she's espousing that she wants.
Honey,
should be
She gotta be cooking it on a rack over flame, okay? Like we can't have this technology.
Get this girl a pizza oven.
Yeah.
All right, I hit play.
Traditional gender roles, you do it. But the sad thing here is that liberals don't know what love is. So they think the only possible reason
loveless liberal bitches.
What?
I wanna know what love is.
Loveless monster.
Oh shit, that's the problem. We don't know love.
Liberals don't know what love is because they don't love licking Trumpy's butthole.
They don't know what love is because they like talking about wet ass pussy.
It's like, did she compare love with food indirectly? Like, if you're not cooking for your people, then you don't love them. Is she what she's saying? Oh, if someone
I think we have to.
Well, food is a universal language of love. I mean, it could be not this way, but it could be.
It's one of the
there's definitely some English people that don't love their kids by how they're cooking. Like, it's just a joke.
Okay. Or boiled dinner. Or Irish boiled dinner. Oh my god.
The absolute sweats you break into when you see the turkey go in the oven unseasoned at Christmas. You're just like, oh my god.
No.
Unseasoned? What? Unseasoned? Oh, that's crazy.
All right. I'm gonna click this back because she was saying something we kind of liberals don't know what love is. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty divisive.
Yeah, educate us, please.
Yep, let's hear what she has to say.
The only possible reason I'd cook food is because I'm being controlled, and not because I simply love my husband.
That's not what they said, honey.
That's what she's saying.
Yeah, that's what she's
saying.
That's so much bigger than just cooking for her husband. She's like, oh, I'm tradwife, blah, blah, blah.
She's cooking for her husband, not because
Christian, hear me roar.
Yeah, she's saying that she doesn't cook for her husband because she likes to do it. She's saying she's cooking for her husband because that's what makes her a good housewife.
Yeah.
Because that's the expectation, not because she's doing it because she wants to or because she cares, but because she's required to. That's the difference.
And that's what a conservative, empowered woman does. That's why she's doing it, because she wants to feel empowered as a conservative woman. So that's why she's cooking for her husband. That's what the tweet says, if I'm not wrong. but she has now again switched it to dragon love somehow, and someone who's talking about controlling. Like, if you're a housewife, you are, and that person is right. If you're a housewife, you end up being more subservient because you don't have control on your finances and yada yada yada. That's
right.
A traditional housewife role. That's what if she's talking about, and now she's switching it to love.
Right.
When did that switch happen? Why did you do that? Can you reason?
Yeah, she's projecting what she's actually saying onto somebody else. Interestingly enough, she's also assuming that the person who tweeted that about, oh, Republican women are so easy to control, if that is not a Republican man, she's assuming that's a liberal man. Because I could also see a Republican man saying the exact same thing. Or not, or a centrist, or not just not.
My wife is subservient. I can control her.
Believe it or not, there's more than 2 areas on the political spectrum.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, it's there's lefter than Democrat. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, there's not like Democrats. Not like she's talking like these are like people doing lines off of the Communist Manifesto. Like, this is not like. The Democrats are like centrist at best, you know. It's like, damn.
Yeah, she's talking about like the extremists. Like, she's trying to be like the extremists, but it doesn't sound like she actually talks to any liberals, to tell you the truth. I don't know where she's getting this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Let's hit play.
So she's amusing.
What makes me feel empowered? Having a wet and being able to have access to safe reproductive health while also being an amazing cook and loving every second of nurturing my partner.
Hey, that's what we said. They're doing all the above.
Yeah, exactly. And she's not, and I like it. Like, this, she did not demean what makes her, you know, feel empowered, right? She's talking about herself. She's like, you know, what makes me empowered is to have access to safe reproductive health care and also having a badass pussy. And you know, oops, I hope you don't get me.
Why are they upset?
We've said it a bunch.
Why are they upset?
Yeah. So she's not demeaning her, but she's talking about herself, and she's like, I think so she's trying to show that there's a lot more you can be empowered with just by being by being a housewife, I guess.
There's an interesting switch that happens here, in that you'll notice that in what's her name? Caitlin? Yeah, in Caitlin's tweet, she says, you know what makes me feel empowered? Negative things. Not these things. These are bad things. But this positive thing. She doesn't start off by saying, hey, you know what makes me feel empowered? Making dinner for my husband, because I just really enjoy doing that. I like this position that I'm in. No, she starts off her tweet by shitting on what other people feel empowered by.
Right.
So that's and I think so that's very, very, when you read this tweet, someone who has quoted her, I think so they did exactly what they wanted to do, and they highlighted it. Like, look at this chick, you know, dissing on stuff I feel empowered with while she's talking about stuff she feels empowered with. I'll be the bigger person. I will talk about, I'll still keep talking about what I feel empowered with while I highlight what a fucking piece of shit this chick is. I just find it so
bizarre hearing Caitlin read this out, because she's talking about like having access to healthcare is a bad thing.
Yeah,
well, a lot of right-wing Americans do, though, right? They're like, oh my god, those mooches that have the free health care.
It's not even free. The person's not even talking about it being free. The person is talking about having access to it, paid or not.
Able to get it at all.
Right. Just to have it. Right. Just to be able to have it.
They're not talking about how exactly it got it. That's what it is. Like, I think so. Some extreme right-wing people, not all, I'm saying some extreme right-wing people have made this false dichotomy. I don't know. Do you call it a false equivalence, if I might say that? If you are asking for some things like accessible health care, it's going to be, you're a moocher. you know, or
Yeah.
you are asking for free stuff if you're asking for a particular kind of service, healthcare, if you're asking for accessible healthcare, if you're asking for accessible voting services, you know, if you can, so you can vote properly, you know, without worrying about stuff, you are some
Right.
kind of a moocher, or you live off the dole, something like that. And it's seeped into main media, and the left have started like kind of believing that, and their language has changed to accommodate that somehow. The clarifications, the number of clarifications that are made in this regard, like, oh no, we're not asking for free healthcare, it's going to be taxable, you know, and all yada yada yada. So it's kind of sad to see that, you know, that that false equivalence has like seeped into main media somehow. So yeah.
They do. They just pick and choose just several words to support their narrative in not the whole context of the subject or the statement that was made. And she's pretty good at it, actually.
So do you want to hear what she has to say about this? Because the way she's presenting it is already kind of funny.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So take a seat, honey. Get you a girl who does both. So let me get this straight. Having sex makes you feel empowered, but you—
The music change! I'm sorry!
I also love the symphony. Yeah, the symphony orchestra where she's like, women fuck. And it's like... Okay, anyways, go on.
Having sex makes you feel empowered, but you refuse to respect what your body does as a result of having sex. This is why so many people fail—
You mean get wet?
Get wet? No. Oh, she means get pregnant. Oh no. If she's having a safe—
No, what is she going—
She's having safe sex, she might not get pregnant. Oh, okay. So if I don't want to get pregnant, I don't respect my body.
Listen, it's the thing that gets me is you're not respecting what the body does when you have sex, but she's sitting here disrespecting what women's bodies do when they have sex, which is get wet.
Wet ass sex. Wet ass pussy.
I mean,
so yeah, like the thing that the natural reaction to avoid like infections and stuff, because it's like,
and avoid,
you don't end up with like
damage,
open wounds
and friction.
Oh gosh, don't be
interesting.
Now you know better than to throw science at the conservatives. Don't do that. I mean, she might break.
She has a degree in biology. Break. We can't throw it in her face. The thing is that
she should
funny,
know better.
So if someone gets STDs due to as a result of sex,
is that natural?
So they should
something natural that the body does.
So shouldn't do anything about it. What?
All right, I want to see what else.
Is that what you're trying to say?
I want to see what else she got.
Having sex. This is why so many people fail to even find a spouse, let alone have a successful marriage, because their relationship is for pleasure and not for loving and supporting one another. And that's why they're so mad at this photo, because I have something that they don't love.
What?
Did she say that
she just
people?
Oh, she just.
So, hold on. So pleasure and love can't go side by side. Is that what she's saying?
Love is pain.
Love is pain.
It's
love
pain.
Is it's firing that baby out of your
really
vagina.
Said, like, Caitlin Bennett really said, "No bitches."
No bitches.
Oh my goodness!
She just said, "No bitches." Like. Oh god!
Oh my god!
So is she trying to say that people who marry, people who are looking for pleasure in marriage, like sex or are not looking for love at the same time? Is that what she's trying to say? Because people and she said it as a fact.
The divorce rates have been going down, and like, you want to know when there was a huge spike in divorce rates? When all the people that were forced to be housewives were allowed to open their own bank accounts and were allowed to be divorced.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And then like,
so it went up, and then
it was all the like, because it was all the people like, I hate my wife, and they're like,
or I hate my husband.
Stop hating my wife and just not be with my wife. Yeah.
Right.
Have you seen Mrs. Maisel, like that TV series? Oh my goodness!
Yes, that's
great. It talks around about that time when women had started getting their own bank accounts. Yeah, and she makes this career in comedy. And yeah, so my issue is here is that she's saying that people who look for sex cannot find, who are constantly looking for sex and pleasure, cannot find spouses and can't get married. That's a false equivalence or dichotomy, again, if I might say. I don't know what to say it exactly, but how did you come to that conclusion? Why? How did you come to that conclusion? What's the data that you're using for that? That really irks me that you're saying, and then you're saying that marriage can't have pleasure and love at the same time. I don't get it. Like, and only way you can love someone is by cooking.
Right? No. Yes. That's
I
just
feel
it.
sad for
There's
her.
so much.
Kind of petty.
I feel really sad for her.
It's like in order for her way to be right, everything else has to be wrong, which is not good. Yeah.
I don't know too. If I had a partner that like cooked really badly, and then like but insisted on cooking, and I could just make it better, and then everyone will be happier, and they're like, well, that's how I have to show love, I'd kind of be like, ooh, I don't know, do that.
What?
Like
your love is pain, honey.
Love is pain.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if I like the vibes.
So shall we move on to Abby and see what she has to say? She wants to tell us that we need to be dressing.
Let's do.
She's
Abby,
gorgeous, actually. I like her.
She is very
she's
lovely.
Gorgeous.
No, she's very pretty.
She knows how to work the Shapiro eyebrows.
Ooh, yes.
Well, she trims it.
I like that I like that she does a better job framing herself and looking at the camera than Ben Shapiro does, because Ben Shapiro's always got like that meek looking down
like
on. I can't look you in the eye, kind of like uncomfortable.
Hypothetically, if it was to be subservient to my wife, then I would be a better cook.
Better cook.
Jeez,
I love
that voice crack.
Today. I love it.
I want that clip, Chesh. I want that bit.
Oh no!
Clip.
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, yes.
All right, let's see. Let's hear what. Okay, first off, what are we all wearing? Because I don't feel like I'm dressed terribly unconservatively. I've got
I'm
like
wearing overalls.
I've got like
listen, Abby.
shoulder length.
Abby does not want to know what I'm wearing right now, or what I'm not wearing.
I got
wearing overalls.
I don't think anybody.
I'm wearing corduroy overalls and a full shirt underneath.
I don't think. Yeah, I think we're all pretty like conservative right now. Nobody's too ham today.
Conservative. You're right. I did. I put socks on.
You're a cartoon.
On. Yes.
You're a cartoon. You're not on camera.
I'm not. I can't go on camera. I've just got a silk T-shirt on and nothing else. There's no way.
All right. So let's see what she has to say.
Yeah, she's gonna dish us all anyway.
Video, where we're going to be talking about modesty, why it's important, and why it doesn't mean looking like garbage.
Okay.
Modesty. It's a concept that some women truly hate. It's also a concept that a lot of women embrace. First,
do people hate modesty?
Also like the least. She's also like definitely the least bad out of the three of them. I wanted to preface with.
I think she's talking
she's
about
definitely
the
the least
concept
contentious.
of modesty. So I'm not going to be surprised if there are some women who hate the concept of modesty. That's not a wrong thing to say. I guess there are some women out there who hate the concept.
There are some women.
I don't like. I don't like the concept of modesty. I don't hate it. I don't like it.
That's fair.
I don't like it. Let's just say.
All right, let's take a look.
First off, what is it? Modesty is dressing in a way that doesn't sexualize your body. I get the appeal of not wanting to dress modestly all the time. Even for those of us who do dress modestly, sometimes it's hard. It's fun to dress in a way that makes you desirable. It's fun to be noticed. But the question is, who do you want to be desirable to? And do you want to be noticed for being beautiful or being sexy?
Both.
Okay. Both. Why can't I have both? I want everything.
Yeah.
I want both. I want it all.
I don't entirely disagree with her so far. Like, she's so far been relatively reasonable of being like, hey, listen, if you're trying to, the way you dress is important to understand. Why are you doing what you're doing? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for somebody else?
right.
If you're trying to attract
It's-
somebody else,
Exactly.
who are you trying
Yeah.
to? These are fair things to question and consider. I think that's
She's
fair.
the opposition.
Yeah,
That's
so
all
far,
she's the
intelligent. That's all
opposition of the
intelligent.
like.
Yeah.
But there's like the the ideology of like, it's not what you can do for the patriarchy, it's what the patriarchy can do for you, right? She's kind of the foil to that, where she's like, no, the patriarchy's set, and you have to figure out the best way to work within it functionally, is what she's doing.
So,
and the people that
is it
oppose
like-
her. So
is it
she's just like, well, the patriarchy's this way, and there's no way to reverse it. So if you don't want to be called a thought, don't be a thought, is pretty much what she's saying. If that makes sense.
Right. She's saying that, yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what she's saying. Yeah.
So she's like saying that dressing sexily or dressing not modestly, I'm not going to say immodestly, but dressing not modestly is not an option. Is that what she's saying? That
Well, we have to wait
dressing-
and
She's
see.
saying
We'll wait and see what she's saying.
She's
but
saying it's not a respectable option, is what she's
Yeah.
saying.
yeah.
You can.
Yeah, she's
but
saying
you're
you're
not
not
going to
be
be
looked
well, is essentially what she's
respectable.
alluding to.
You're not
Yeah.
right. That you're going to be treated less than if you dress that way.
Captain Gargoyle makes a good point and says those are some those are some immodest dress designs in the background. It's like,
Yeah,
that
I
is-
saw those.
That
and I was
is
like, the
shoulder
back is-
exposed, back exposed, all as well as back exposed and tight hugging curve with a fishtail on
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah. What's that about? I don't know. It's like I'll say this. For me personally, I'll just, before we go ahead, why I don't like the concept of modesty is like to what end? That's what my question is. Because I don't see an end to it, because you think you're dressed modestly, but then there's someone else who comes and you're not dressed modestly, and then if you do more, there's no end to it.
You're saying
That's
like
why.
who's
I don't understand
deciding
it.
what is applicable
Yeah,
to modesty and what
who's in
isn't.
charge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For
Yeah,
example,
who's
over
setting
here,
those rules and standards?
yeah.
It's inconsistent.
And also, like, for example, like for Abigail, like she's sitting there and she's saying, "Oh, I can tell you."
She's
what
got a V-neck.
Dressing modesty is like. Yeah, while she's wearing a V-neck, there
it's
can be
kind of
someone, a
plungy.
pastor, come in and say, "That's not
I
modest.
have
You're
a
wearing
mock neck
makeup."
on. Is it the
You're
bitch with the highest necklines the smartest? Because I feel like I will win this contest.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like-
I'm over here with my 62 IQ with my low cut V-neck. Shit.
I
and here I am
am
with my
Shapiro level God IQ
Brain.
because I have my high neck shirt on.
Biggest brain.
Yeah, like because for some people, for some conservatives, if I might say, even makeup is like, oh.
Well, she doesn't
That's
have
like
her
you're trying
hair.
to be
If you're
sexy.
talking about traditional values, she doesn't have her hair covered. She doesn't have her hair up. She has
Nope.
her hair down and
Nope,
loose.
she got-
And it's framing.
Nope,
and
she's
it's
got
framing.
the down, loose, sexy hair, right? Her chest. Yeah.
And she's got a low cut V. Her V is about the same distance mine is. Mine might be slightly lower.
That is very.
because
It's quite low, actually.
Yeah.
Considering.
That's
modesty.
like that
So
is
yeah,
like
so-
here. She's
Yeah,
wearing
so that's what
makeup.
my issue is.
She's wearing makeup.
Exactly.
She's
Yeah.
wearing lipstick. She's wearing eyeshadow. She's wearing cover up. She's wearing blush. So where is the line, right?
Yeah, it's about, and as Smitty said from the live chat, that's a very good point. When people say, quote unquote, modest dress, they are shaming immodest dress. Purity culture is inherently about shame. It can't be separated from that. That's what it is.
That's true, and that
it's-
is the
yeah.
offensive part of it. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it.
Spot on, Smitty.
I'm not sure if it can't be separated, but I think that'd be a conversation for another day.
It
It's
can
certainly
be.
No, but
not
I think-
currently.
I think that's how they
I
structure things.
think
is
it
the
just
same way
comes
as,
with it.
as there's no disagreeing with Caitlin Bennett as a fellow Republican. It is disagreement exists in the idea of a liberal, right?
Right.
It's there's only the opposition,
Which is ridiculous.
is what is which is just kind of a way to it's a way to frame the easiest argument possible, right? Because it's simplistic arguments lack nuance, and nuance is your like often comes into your like plane of opinion, right? Instead of
That is
having
the
polls.
kryptonite.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna hit play. I
Okay.
want to see what she actually has to say because so far I don't entirely disagree with her. I don't like recognizing what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how it's going to be received is important. So that way you can get whatever you want out of the interaction you're trying to, or you're a part of. But let's see what she has to say.
Mm-hmm.
Modesty is about treating your body with respect. It's about recognizing reality, that men are visual creatures, not emotional ones. It's about leaving things to be.
Okay.
No thoughts, head empty, men.
Oh god. Yeah, they're cavemen. They are devoid of emotion.
Unga bunga, my dudes.
So she's saying that it's about respecting your body. So if I'm not, that's where Smitty was right. It's about shaming.
Yeah,
that's the
about
thing
shaming.
with the Caitlyn Bennett
Absolutely.
too.
I don't know why it's respecting my body to cater what I'm wearing because I think somebody else is stupid.
Yeah, or somebody cannot control
or
themselves.
they can't control themselves.
So, it's
Right,
like
yeah.
it's like that. She's telling me that I should dress for men by telling me that if I dress immodestly, I'm still dressing for men. What?
Exactly.
Like
This
you're
is the
telling me to dress for
sexist
men, isn't it?
Shit. Yeah.
We
She's being so sexist.
We need to cater
she's
our
sexist.
We need to cater our guys. We need to cater our outfits to make sure that the unga bunga men out there don't get the wrong impression or the wrong idea about.
Listen. There is a certain class of unga bunga men out there that you can wear a potato sack and they're still going to get all the wrong ideas.
That's because sometimes it's about you being nice to them.
The unga bunga men. Oh.
No,
it's
like
the
don't
fault
even
of the
look at them.
Unga men. How
You're
dare
just
you-
walking.
how dare I?
You're walking on the right side of the sidewalk. Like they might like just be able to see you. So there, it's all
The thing
over
is
with.
that
Like
the
come
thing
on.
is that this is my problem. How she said that men are visual creatures and not emotional creatures. That is such a bad.
That's
wrong
so bad.
Concept. Men are emotional.
Thank God I don't know.
Listen,
Unga bungos.
Okay.
If anybody should know that men are emotional creatures,
Men are emotional, yeah.
it's Ben Shapiro's sister.
Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro's sister.
little
Ben
crybaby.
Shapiro is very emotional.
He's very emotional.
It's also just it's also
And
it's like it's
tantrum
saying
Trump,
men are
don't tell
visual
me he's not
creatures is
emotional.
just no, but men being
how
visual
far
creatures
that-
as an
how-
ideology just
yeah.
excuses everything,
right?
right? It
Yes.
just doesn't allow
And
for
it's
any
like,
room
how
around it.
far will it go? Because it's like her argument kind of crashes because we have seen men who harass women even when they're wearing regular clothes like that are not showing anything. Even when they're in, if I may dare say, in a full covering hijab, they get harassed or get catcalled.
Exactly.
So her this concept of like, that's what my problem is. To what end? Because sometimes depending, it's as if like it depends on the human, not on the gender, right? Because there are women who harass other women for not being dressed modestly enough according to their own standards, like she is doing it here.
Right.
So again, it's like she's telling women you should dress for men. And it's like, so you're catering to patriarchy.
It's
and
not even
why
like,
should we listen to you again?
It's infantizing men.
Yeah,
it is. And here's the thing: it's like she's being sexist, and only in the most basic way, like generalized sexist, like bare bones, like simple sexist. She's not even an intelligent argument. I really expected better of her, actually. Because I know she's a little smarter than this.
I'm stuck on the men are visual and not emotional creatures. Look at my brother, Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
He's totally not overly emotional and didn't get trolled by the entire internet to get a paternity test.
And cry.
It's like I used to get followed back home from work and I would wear literally like men's jeans and a t-shirt.
Yep.
I worked at a gas station and it's like it's not about what you're wearing at all, really. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
I've been watching.
It's about the power play.
I've been watching Mika and her sort of rise and what she, like arguments that she gets into and the stuff that gets thrown at her on the internet. and you cannot tell me that men are not emotional. They got so mad at her because she was like, "You guys are kind of dumb."
That's all she said. That's kind of dumb.
They lost their shit.
My commentary video bros video got flagged for bullying, and then I just got it manly reviewed, and it got put back immediately, and I was like, "Thank you." It's definitely, it's like woman tears is what I'll get in response a lot, and I'm like, when did I cry?
Really?
What? I literally said, here's all your man people whining and playing the victim when people get mad at them. And they're like, oh, woman tears. I'm like, oh, huh? What?
Those are, they can't even.
That is high logic.
That is like so funny. They don't even get it. Like, it's like they didn't even watch the same video. Yeah.
I just don't.
It's fine, yeah.
The thing is like a lot of the time, not every time, but if I go to the bar, I can dress different ways, and in doing so, will get a different response. Not necessarily because people don't find me attractive in column A or in column B, depending on what I'm wearing. It's just that I'm giving off an air of approachability about whether I am open to being approached or not. Now, that doesn't mean, yes, touch me. That doesn't mean you get to do whatever you want. It means that I may be indicating that I am more open to a conversation with you, or I'm more difficult to approach, or not interested in being approached at all. And some of that is just a matter of understanding social constructs and social cues, right? If I go to the bar and I'm going out looking to find somebody, I can take the initiative. And I will present myself.
I'm looking for somebody.
Right, and I will also present myself visually in a way that is like, no, I'm indicating this through this way, this way, this way, this way. But if I am indicating visually that I am looking for somebody, and you come out to talk to me, and I say no, that doesn't mean I'm not looking for somebody. It just means I'm not interested in you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, my favorite thing about the idea that men aren't emotional, I've been hammering this in a lot of my recent videos, is like, y'all just don't believe that angry is an emotion,
right?
Like in my video, we had like one of those little pictures of like the diagrams they use for kids of like, how are you feeling today? And then anger is one of the circles.
Anger is one of them.
You can be angry and combative. You're feeling something. Frustration is a feeling. Contention is a feel. Like being like that. It's
emotion.
It's like, sadness and happiness are things that only women feel in their conversation. Okay, sure.
Yeah, there's definitely not tons of men crying on the internet.
I kid you not.
It's just so narrow-minded. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Manya.
I kid you not. Yeah, I was having a conversation with someone, and so they were like, oh, because I am kind of defending myself about something that's happening nowadays on social media, and so they were like, oh, but I see that you're angry about it, and it's consuming you. I'm like, I'm pissed about it, but I'm not angry. Oh, is angry or pissed not the same? I'm like, no. And they're telling me how I'm feeling about something. So women can get angry. Women can feel that emotion, but you can't. I saw you a couple of days ago on someone's live stream going mad at some other person because they made false accusations against you. So it's like, and they're telling me that I'm mad. I'm like, I'm not angry. They told me I'm angry. I'm like, no, I'm not angry. I'm pissed, which is a different kind of emotion. And don't tell me what to do about it. Don't tell me how to channel it or what to do about it. And they're dictating to me how to deal with it. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to follow your set pathway. Let me deal with my own thing, and don't negotiate for me. Like suddenly coming in and inserting themselves in a situation and trying to it has happened the second time now that a man has decided to insert themselves in my situation and try to negotiate for me. I'm like, why do men think they can do that?
And like, when did you ask?
When did you ask? That's also, they assume a lot. I get it, because it's the entitlement. There are some generation of men that they have been entitled with a lot of things, a decision making, with with in concern with women for such a long time, they think they still have that entitlement and they're still entitled to it somehow.
It's bizarre.
And they don't know when to step back.
It's bizarre when it's people you don't really know very well also.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that happens, where you get somebody that you don't really know stepping into a situation, being like, it's not quite white knighting, because it's like, oh, here, sweetheart, let me handle this situation for you. And it's, that might not be...
it's making me uncomfortable.
It might not be the intention, but it's certainly the way it can come across.
Yeah. Because it's making them uncomfortable, and they're like, oh, they're doing something about themselves.
Right.
So they're telling me I'm angry while they're feeling uncomfortable about something. I'm like, I'm not angry all the time.
You're crossing a boundary line. And so I'm telling you you're crossing a boundary line. And now you're asking me why I'm angry. I'm like, I'm not angry yet. I'm drawing a boundary line.
And don't tell me that I'm getting consumed by an emotion. Don't tell me that.
Yeah, my favorite thing is I made a joke about like the men on the internet, and then someone with 6 followers in an anime profile picture was like, and you are? And then my first response in my head was, a bitch who has 1/100th of the subscriber count and gets the same views as your fucking the guys you're standing.
Ooh,
I don't know what to tell you. It's like,
I do enjoy when somebody throws shade and they have absolutely nothing to back that shade up with.
That has happened with me also. Like, people go like, oh, you think like you are such a big YouTuber. I'm like, I'm a fucking nobody. I just like throw water at them. I'm a nobody. Why are you coming and talking to a nobody?
It's just the thing is like,
the other way around.
It is though, why you so mad, bro? Like, why you mad, bro? What are you...
Why? Yeah.
But no, men don't have emotions. They're visual creatures. As if you couldn't be both for some reason. But let's see what else she has to say.
Imagination. It's about dressing beautifully and attractively, but not garishly. It's about embracing femininity. And it's about dressing in public in a way that's appropriate for everyone.
Yeah.
From children to grandparents to moms and dads.
Don't sexualize children. I'm gonna stop you right there. Don't sexualize children.
Right there.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't make this about kids. Moving on.
Modesty is a way for you to respect yourself and respect others. And
you would think that grandparents have seen everything in life, so why are you worried about grandparents? Like, I don't get it.
I need to make sure.
Dads too.
I need to make sure that I dress in a way that Ben Shapiro's sister's grandparents will think is respectable.
My grandma had like floor-length wool coats and fur coats that she kind of had, and like gold stuff. Yeah, she looks sick.
I wear your grandpa's clothes. I look incredible.
Oh my god, pain. Oh my
god, the
thrift
shop down the road.
Y'all were like adults when that song came out. I was literally in the 7th grade. Like, I was peak childhood cringe when that song came out.
That song came out, I think,
I was 12 when Gangnam Style came out.
Oh my god,
I was 12 when Gangnam Style came out. You're right. So like, think about like the worst possible. That's like Fortnite 13-year-olds were the Gangnam Style kids in like 2012. You know? Oh my god.
Oh god.
Anyways, go on.
I think that
such a baby.
There's something to be said about like dressing modestly is about respecting yourself and respecting other people. And I feel like it has a little bit less to do with individuality and has a little bit more to do with situations. Like, you can dress inappropriately for an occasion, right?
Yeah,
there are social expectations and social standards in different traditions and in different areas.
You know, like Anne Boleyn did when Catherine died. So yeah, she wore yellow with her husband.
Oh yeah.
So, which is a color of celebration. Oh yeah, you have his like Catherine
throwing shade. Like, you can use
the major ways. Oh yeah.
But then there's also
I'm wearing yellow. I'm dancing on someone's grave today. Am I? Sorry.
Then there's also something that can be said for like, hey, I am wearing this clown outfit to this person's funeral because of my respect for them, because we had an agreement. So whoever died first had to wear the clown outfit to the other one's funeral, right? Like something along those. Like I've seen stuff like that before.
Yeah.
So it's certainly dependent. If you're talking funerals, about who's the person that died and what, it wouldn't be appropriate for everybody to show up at the funeral with clown outfits on, but right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it depends. I know it's about respecting the person, what their wishes were when they, when you're at their funeral. It's about them. It's not about anybody else. So
yeah,
Right.
I think that there's a difference between like being respectful to the location and area around you and the individuals that may be there within a social construct, but not necessarily when it comes to like, oh, well, I dress modestly when I need to take the bus somewhere because there's other people around who give a shit what I wear for some reason.
Yeah.
But most people don't care.
For example, like it happens like with we have a traditional war dance here that's used to give respect to people. It's called the haka, right? And there's a very specific way of doing it. Words, gestures, and who can perform it. Even that's also very selective. And then we have morons who don't know anything about it, don't research about it, and they start they try to mimic it, right? And then they mean well, but they are mimicking, so they haven't done their research. So that would be disrespectful. You're like, do your research, talk to the person who's in charge of teaching haka or something like that, and come up with something, proper words and thing, and then do it. So that's what it's about. You respect it.
Yeah, it's the difference
go around
between
pretending you know it.
That's the difference between like cultural appropriation and somebody who actually just
Exactly.
respects and learned about the culture and appreciates it and wants to partake.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's
I gotta
the
say,
distinction.
I do like Abby so far better. Like she seems,
as I said, she's definitely like the least bad. Yeah,
she seems at least. I don't think she's earnest in that. She seems forced. Like she seems like she's been forced into this box her whole life, and so she believes this and behaves this way and does this stuff because she feels like she has to, and feels like this is the only way her life has any value. But I have more respect for her so far because she's not just trolling. Like Caitlyn is clearly just trolling.
Yeah, she's not trolling.
Not like Caitlyn.
She believes what
Caitlyn was trolling.
Yeah.
All right, I hit play.
Yeah.
Go to the park and you're surrounded by families with children. Is it fair to dress in a way that's distracting? No. Instead, dress in a way that's appropriate for the occasion. When you meet a guy and immediately have a connection, you have one chance to make an impression. Do you want him to leave having your...
Show us your tits!
And it's also like, yeah, you've got one chance to make an impression. So would you rather make an impression with what you actually wear in your daily life, or are you going to go over the top and give him a false picture, which you have to adhere to for the rest of your life because you're scared you're going to lose that person because of that one interaction you had?
I mean, that's also kind of a little not true too. You get more than one chance to make an impression. You just only get one first impression.
Right.
Yeah. It's like it happened. Okay, I'll tell you this. I come from India, right? Over there, marriages are still arranged, and this is what used to happen with me. So they would find a guy, my parents, and they were like, okay, go meet this guy. And my mom will so much control what I used to wear when I used to go and meet that guy. She would control every aspect of it. She would tell me, wear makeup, tie your hair in a good hairstyle, or wear a skirt or something like that to make a good impression, right? And if I wore something like this to go and meet a guy, she would get upset. Like, and I would be like, listen, and she would ask me to wear makeup and shit too, and I'm like, listen, this is what he's going to sleep and wake up and see if he wakes up in the morning if we end up getting married. So it's better that I show him this rather than putting up this false image, and then I am suffering because I have to adhere to that image for the rest of my life, and feel like I'm lying to someone all the time, and I'm forced into this again, like she said, being forced into a box that I don't want to be forced into. So that's sad, man. If that's what you have to do to impress someone.
Again,
seriously.
She's also conflating propriety when it comes to a social situation versus like when you're dressing up for yourself to go out. Like if you're conflating, you don't wear club clothing when like you're, I don't know,
Mhm.
let's say you're a
Right.
college
Oh, that's
student,
cool.
you're
That's
the
cool.
average college age and you're going clubbing. You're not
Mhm.
wearing that to the park. Like, why are you even going to the park? Like, that's like,
Yeah.
that's not.
Like, wait,
You would be
it's
confused
just
by
common
your
sense.
coursework.
I don't understand.
I was just looking at Caitlin Bennett's Patreon, and the highest tier is $266.50 Canadian a month.
Wow. What do you get?
What?
You get 8x10 photograph photo each month, personalized thank you note with the photograph, name at the description of the YouTube videos, access to private Facebook group, a follow back on Twitter.
Okay, so she's selling pictures of herself and then calling other people thoughts?
OnlyFans!
Yeah, she's calling us
That's a lot
thoughts
more
and
than
she's
an
selling
OnlyFans.
pictures every month
Like,
with personal
just
notes.
his OnlyFans
Yeah.
is like $5 a month, bro.
I-
Like,
I know,
I thought
right?
it was. Is it against TOS to
It doesn't say that
sell
those
followbacks?
Oh, I don't know about that, but it definitely is
I don't know,
not.
it's a
well, it's
Patreon
Patreon, so I don't know if that's like.
Yeah, Patreon doesn't. Really
It's not
have
a
that
YouTube
covered.
membership, right?
Yeah, they the
Right.
other thing is that nothing is said that any of these pictures were inappropriate. But if she's gonna sit there and sell her body, and then complain
Yes,
that
that's
other
not
people are going out and selling
bizarre.
her body, but well, she's like, I'm a good housewife. Have pictures of me that my husband is okay with you looking at, and totally
Especially because
nobody is ever gonna fap to them at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever the 0.380, I don't know bullets. The 0.380 tier is a picture of her in this tight dress with a what are those holsters? Is that what the gun things are called? The holsters?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's set up
Oh,
like
I
a
know what
garter
you're talking
belt.
about.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
Like it's on her
set up like a
thigh,
garter.
and then you get her thighs lifted. It has like
I think so. I know what you're talking about.
I think that Ben Shapiro's sister Abby over here would take issue with that being
would not
very
appreciate
modest.
that.
Yeah.
No.
Is she using? Wow. Mm-hmm.
All right, I want to hear what.
Yeah, $7 a month literally gets you nothing.
Come on,
It
Abby.
just says keep up. It's so stupid. Okay, anyways.
You want him to leave having your body at the forefront of his mind, or you as a person?
Caitlin Bennett does.
If you are wearing something incredibly revealing, it will be difficult for him to focus on your personality. Instead, he might be focusing on your physical appeal. Of course, there are men who will look at you this way no matter what. But more men will think of you as a sex object if you dress like one than if you dress like a lady. Does that mean you should look like garbage when you meet someone? Absolutely not. You should look attractive. But if you're dressing immodestly, you're not leaving anything to his imagination. And
Where's
you're not
the
giving
line?
him
The line is blurred.
I
The
feel
line is
like
very
she's
blurred for
giving
me.
me advice on how to meet men and be enticing towards to men. But if you keep in mind what something that she said at the beginning is, who are you trying to entice? Who are
boring men, allegedly.
Boring men who have unga bunga brain.
Yeah, so you can control those
boring
men.
men who are visually
I showed
driven
my pinky finger, now he's going to dance around.
and have no emotions.
Yeah, so you can. I think so. What she wants is women to
Alpha.
find like just that unga bunga man,
Unga bunga.
so that they can be
So-
controlled. So if I show my ankle, that guy's gonna do anything I want. Is that what she's saying?
There you go.
Unga bunga.
I don't. I'm losing it here.
Can I please
have no
get
idea.
can I get an amen in the chat if you are watching and you are an unga bunga man? Could you also say in the comments, leave me a note saying amen if you are in fact an unga bunga man? I feel like I'm an unga bunga man.
I also feel like it's like she's saying, "Oh,
Okay.
dress the way I say, and you're perfect." Like she's setting the rules, but again, who made her in charge? And let's see. And I'm very sure whatever she's going to set up will be problematic for someone else. So there's no end to this shit. And again, this concept that she's trying to reiterate again and again, that men, if you dress sexily or something like that, men for some reason can't hold a conversation. Or can't remember you for your personality because they were too busy staring at your tits. I don't think so. I want that kind of person anyways.
What if you don't have what if you don't have a personality? Well, then what are you supposed to do? Caitlin Bennett, I guess. But
All
right.
Oh, I don't know.
All right, a little bit more of this, and then we'll move on to Candace Owens, because that's going to be a trip.
Oh god, oh yeah.
An opportunity to get to know you. I'm guessing you don't want to attract the kind of man who is only looking to spend one night with you. But when you dress immodestly, men are wired to have one thing on the brain.
On the day.
When you go to a work meeting, do you want to have cleavage and legs showing?
Yeah.
No. You want the people there to listen to you and engage with your ideas, not your sexuality. Dressing modestly is such a feminine thing to do because it accentuates your figure instead of revealing it. And here's the thing. You can dress modestly and beautifully. There are so many examples of this. Look at Kate Middleton, Michelle Obama, and Ivanka Trump. Nobody looks at them and thinks, wow, they're frumpy. But in today's day and age, where everything goes, it's hard to
Michelle Obama's fits were kind of frumpy. Come on now. At least the ones she had, those were very, like, square.
Yeah, she had a few pretty boxy outfits.
And even Princess Lady.
Yeah.
I can't. How not Canadian of me to not simp for the monarchy. Anyways, well, I'm Quebecois, so I'm not supposed to. Anyways, yeah, Middleton. That's her name. Kate Middleton, right? Hers are tend to be pretty square too.
Yeah.
Oh, what's modest?
Oh, sorry.
She's covered. She wears once in a while. She wears like like gowns, or you could say dinner gowns that expose her shoulders and stuff. She does do that, but she does that very less, if we must say. But she does wear deep necks.
Again, there's a difference.
Is that okay?
It's a difference between what is socially acceptable at the event.
Exactly.
Why in the hell would Michelle Obama be going around in like clubbing clothing to a presidential dinner? Like, what?
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's like,
I mean, I just
where
don't.
Would we be without Abby's tutorial?
And all these women that she just listed are married.
Yeah.
They're not out looking for a mate.
Partner. Yeah. Yeah.
So why would you?
This is a very limited message for a very small, limited scope message for a very small audience, which I haven't identified yet. Or I don't know.
Or it's a way to shame people who are not in that scope of audience.
Or you mean that same old damn judgment thing that keeps coming out of their mouths every damn day? That judgment thing, like my way or the highway? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's trying to convince ladies who dress sexily for dates and stuff to say, no, don't dress sexily. That's bad. Dress the way I tell you to, until someone else tells you that's bad.
All right. Candace Owens.
Oh, boy.
This is the meat and potatoes of it all.
This is a lady who does not fact check and just shits from all her orifices.
Hot mess.
Just say.
She graduated from Hypocrisy 101, 102, 103, and 104 in the same year. She's good.
I feel like we start, because like you don't even have to like look and do like don't have to do digging to find something that Candace Owens has said that's just like.
First off, weird nitpick, but I hate when bitches be saying uncancelable since 1989, like they're about to Twitter cancel a baby. I hate when people count when the second they were alive. It's like, shut the hell up. What are you talking about?
Like, get out of
Sorry.
here.
Anyways, I hate when people will count like X since this time. Like, no. You were in the womb. Okay, stop.
You weren't tweeting. Did you get Wi-Fi in there?
Yeah, like
Smitty, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. He says dumpster fire the woman. Candace Owens, dumpster fire the woman. There we go.
So she tweets out, "It's important we don't refer to women as women because it's hurtful to men who think they are women. What's hurtful to women is irrelevant. What's important is that us women work to make men who think they are women happy. Any questions, fellow menstruator?"
What? What?
Wait. That's classic. I'm glad you opened with that one.
I
can't. I gotta.
I'm so over women oversharing on the web. Like, what year did it become fashionable to state your various mental disorders for likes? I have crippling anxiety.
Exactly.
Just wanted a bunch of perfect strangers on the web to know and tell me how brave I am in the comments. I mean, bitch, I have crippling anxiety, but it survives anyways, you know? It makes life go on fast mode. Okay?
So she's saying if you don't call trans women women, you're catering to if you're so she's misgendering women.
Yes.
Trans women.
Yes.
Yeah.
On purpose.
On purpose.
And she's like, why are you mad at me though?
Well, and then she does, and then she follows up.
Why are you mad at me, bro?
Oh, it's not, hold on, it's not over, because she follows up and says, in short, real feminism is women agreeing to shut up so that men who think they are women can be heard. We will never achieve true progress until men who believe they are women are treated as equals through the silencing and cultural erasure of actual women. It's simple.
Yeah, it's all she's doing is like repack. She's just repackaging like TERF ideologies. That's
she's saying
exactly.
She's saying she's somehow saying that trans women are taking up spaces for women. Like, you were born a woman. Did you take up some other woman's space when you were born, you moron?
Yeah.
Like,
hold up.
Let's all get together.
What do we got?
It's like it's a false dichotomy. Hold on. I need to finish this. She's saying for some reason she thinks there's limited space for women on this planet, and there's limited resources for women on this planet. So with every new trans woman, we have to share those resources. We shouldn't have to share. So when you were born, you bitch. So you having healthcare limited some other woman's healthcare? Is that what you're saying? Are you fucking mad? What the fuck?
She's saying let's
Vic,
oppress
I
them so they know what it's like to be us.
Got it. I'll
because I really cried a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my god.
There's the thing is like I am not there are a lot of women and that seem to be very concerned about their space being invaded and them being oppressed again or more so because of trans women. And
I am not
comes off to me as if I don't think these women are afraid of trans women. I think they're afraid of men.
Yeah, exactly.
They're projecting it on trans women, and
right.
They're afraid. They're thinking that, and there's this false messaging going out there that men are like trans women are men pretending to be women so they can overtake women's space.
So here's
and then come out later and say, "God, I'm a man. I took over your space. Fuck off."
I have seen some bizarre conversations because the internet is also like a little bit more aggressive when it comes to this, where there are trans, like very hefty trans SJWs that like that area can be very, very toxic and can be very much shitting on people.
It is
very, very much that does happen. That is not non-existent, and I can understand women being upset when they feel like this is men telling me what to do again with extra steps. That's not necessarily what it is, but there are times I've seen that conversation happen where a woman who has an opinion gets shit on. That's not against trans people. It's not against any individuals. It's not anti-LGBTQ. They're just saying, hey, I still want to be able to have this space where I am comfortable and feel safe. And so everybody should be allowed to have a space of that kind. And men are coming in, and I don't mean trans women, and I don't mean trans men. I mean men are coming in and shitting on that woman. Cis men are coming in, shitting on that woman, telling her, shutting her the fuck down, telling her she's not allowed to talk, and that she's this, that, and the other thing. And there is not a single trans person having any issue with what this woman is saying.
Yeah.
So
No,
it's
right.
it's bizarre. Like there's a weird, but again, that specifically mostly happens on like Twitter. I don't really see that in real life.
That comes in, I think, so for some women, or some men. I'm not saying all. When you are not able to accept trans women as women, as soon as you stop referring to trans women as trans women and you say, okay, these are women, it just becomes a homogenous issue again, isn't it?
Yes and no. The thing is like even if if you accept and when you accept that trans women are women, it doesn't negate that there are experiences that women have who are born women that people who have transitioned into women aren't having. But it's the same vice versa. There are experiences that trans women have that it's not a competition. Everybody has different experiences.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a competition.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think so. I think so. That comes from ignorance. That people. That's what I was saying about like.
I am convinced.
She thinks that
there
are limited resources and that only a certain number of women have right on those resources, and other women cannot have those resources. That's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
That's what makes her statement.
Can we take a moment to appreciate the Nancy Pelosi eyebrow tweet?
Yep.
I need attention.
All right, let's look at this. Now Disclosed TV tweeted out, now Pelosi, quote, what the Republicans are doing across the country is really legislative continuation of January 6th. So let's hear what she had to say. It's only 22 seconds. But Candace Owens said whatever doctor did this to Nancy Pelosi's eyebrows needs to spend hard time in prison.
Well, I can agree on that, actually.
Well, you know what?
Don't look
that's just the trolliest thing I've ever seen. Though I'm just like I don't know, but Owens woke up and chose piss in her cornflakes, bro. Like,
yes, she just.
Oh my god!
But I want to see what Candace Owens is trying to detract from, because
yes, because she's not detracting, and she said that
she's not making a point. She's not making an argument. So let's see this woman who's supposed to be like, the thing is like these women are like, no, we're pro feminist and we're pro women, but women should be
other women,
and women
let me go beat up on a woman. Yeah.
But women should be in this box. Now Nancy Pelosi has not stepped outside of that box, but she's shitting on her for how she looks anyway. So let's hear what she has to say. Oh, wait, I have to open this up differently. Hold on 1 second. Let me just open this up in another way real quick.
No worries.
Do that.
So she's trying to discredit Nancy Pelosi by saying her eyebrows are fuck. Okay.
Because she couldn't find anything else to say. That's why we want to know what Nancy said, because she's not making a statement.
Yeah, like I would love to, like, if she addressed the argument, if Nancy Pelosi said something that was non-factual or she didn't agree with, that would have been a better thing. But I guess she's trolling, so.
I mean, it's always a little bit of.
Yeah.
It's hard to say like don't troll Nancy Pelosi. Like I don't really.
Yeah.
Well,
it's hard to not troll the United States government when everyone who's alive, when they walk, they sound like dry bones from Super Mario, because everyone's literally 90. Like,
I still don't understand Mitch McConnell existing. All right,
when you walk into the Senate, it just smells like potpourri and mothballs. It's just like
I kind of feel bad for AOC in that case.
We just walked.
I kind of do too.
All right, let's hit play.
What the Republicans are doing across the country is really a legislative continuation of what they did on January 6th, which is to undermine our democracy, to undermine the integrity of our elections, to undermine the voting power, which is the essence of a democracy. What the Republicans are doing.
Oh, okay. So she's saying, so she's not disagreeing with that. So she's saying eyebrows, though.
Yeah, she's just like eyebrows.
So she's trying
eyebrows.
Yeah, so she's like, don't focus on what she's saying because that might be true. Focus on the eyebrows, though.
Yeah. Way to go, Candice. That was ignorant.
Like, I feel like
Way
that's,
to
I feel like
Streisand
that's a
the fuck out
reply,
of a
not a quote
message.
tweet. You know, like trolling the eyebrows is like a reply. I would not like quote tweet that to like my 2 million follower Twitter. I'm
Yeah,
also
like,
just not
I
a
mean,
very
it's
trolling person.
it's very
Streisand the fuck
ironic.
out of it.
Well, it's really ironic.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
when I was looking at the, I watched a TED Talk by Candace Owens, and she's sitting around complaining that some horrible stuff happened to her, and everybody got involved, and that was traumatizing for her, and it was very bad for her, and people who didn't know anything about her were going to get impressions based on these things that other people had written about her and not about her. That was very concerning with her, and it might be good for people not to be so addicted to just being able to like be activists by typing on their computer and just hitting the enter button on whatever they think, and maybe use the control and the delete button. And then she's out here being like, those eyebrows don't. It's like you're doing the thing that you're complaining people did to you.
Yeah.
Become the monster.
Yeah, you became the monster you claim to be fighting.
So I just want to look a little bit at some of the quote tweets, at like some of the replies that she's gotten, and just to see, because it's like, it's always a good time seeing another woman put someone down about their looks. Now talk about how much makeup you use and the amount of filters you use. It's just silly.
Yes.
Oof.
The filters.
Nice.
Nice. This is funny. I like that. The coat hangers.
This is funny, yes. I love if people have sense of humor, but it's just and yeah, it does look like she has a second set of eyebrows. Like,
well, because she got like it's obviously some sort of facelift or injections or whatever, but which is like
it's oh shit, the resemblance is uncanny. Oh shit. Listen, I love that people have sense of humor, but it's like, how about like,
Lord, oh god. Holy. All right, that's just not right.
You can tell that I'm definitely still school age because I'm just like yawning constantly. It's like 11:30.
Yeah.
Like it's 11:30 where I am. It's not even that late, and like little baby is sleepy. Like, oh my god.
11:30? That's late, honey.
Well, yeah,
PM
like I'm
or
a student, so I have to get up at like 9 in the morning, pretty regular, like usually something like that. You know, but it's like
you have to wake up
still
at 9?
yawning a lot. Like for class, like most of my classes. I used to wake up at 5:30 when I was in college. I would have to be on the bus by 6:30 in the morning. That was rough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what, 9?
Yeah,
so
it's a Zoom class, right?
Starts at 9.
I'm a just wake up and go down the stairs.
I'm a plastic surgeon. That look is why I hardly ever do brow lifts anymore. That is surgical. Botox can't elevate the brows to that extreme.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because you have like the Bella Hadid and whatever Kendall Jenner, right? They have it's also surgical. You pinch the skin.
Yeah.
And you go like and they do the fox eye
lift
like this, right?
Yeah, well, that's why she said the doctor who made whatever doctor did the Samantha Pelosi eyebrows.
I'm trying not to pull on my eyes, but my distance here is really short on my head.
Mm-hmm.
But it's right here. Also because I'm 20, so my skin's really tight. But like it's a lift this from the corners up.
I just mean like this is definitely what Candace Owens really looks like, right?
That.
Like she's not wearing it. She's not using any filter. There's no Photoshop in this.
Of course, she doesn't have pimples on her face or marks from pimples on her face. What the fuck are you talking about?
She's definitely not somebody who, when she gets older, is going to get a facelift, right?
No, not at all. It's just she doesn't have a makeup artist or.
Candace always just comes across as
in the chat.
Sorry, go ahead.
There's a comment in the chat. Now I just can't get it out of my head. They said, none of these women could handle a conversation with Gary.
Oh God. Gary.
And I can't get it out of my head now. Like I could hear. I'm just like, I wish I had thought of that at the beginning of the week. I could have got through these videos a lot easier. I was like, thank you for that.
I think so. They will quit politics before they finish a conversation with Gary.
Because I don't think. Maybe we should inflict Gary on them. They would like save.
Take
people from having to go through this.
Hashtag writing community. Candace just
Yes,
the thing that
conversations with Gary.
the thing that
Candace
I find
Abby and
frustrating
Gary.
about Candace is that she's a cry bully. She acts like she's all tough.
Then she cries.
She acts like she can do whatever she wants. She flings shit, and then somebody is like, "Fuck you," and she's like, "No."
She's like, "Well, I'm being oppressed. They're picking on me." I know. This is the same thing I found with all three of them. Worse with Candice because she had a multitude of victimhoods to lay on, or swords to throw at herself. Every time because she talks the most and the stupidest a lot. So there was,
but it's hard because she faces like legitimate systemic oppression on a multitude of levels.
Her own party shits on her regularly.
She utilized herself as a scapegoat for her own oppression, which is so bizarre.
She's doing that. She is allowing that. This is a position.
Well, because she'll profit from it, though. The thing, right? She in the words of the kids, she got that bag. Like, it's
you know what? Then take that power and stop crying victim. Yeah, but that's what I say. Take that power.
Yeah, like don't be a victim when you're counting those hundreds, girl. Because like you got to pick a poison here.
Because
pick a lane.
Because I don't believe you. Like, yeah, that's right.
Now students must
take the job and then bitch because you got the job.
The wording in this, glorious. Now students must submit.
Read another one.
Now students must submit to having a booster shot before they are allowed back onto campus this semester. I simply cannot sympathize with parents that are allowing their children to be treated like lab rats in exchange for a degree.
First of all, would love to see which university she's talking about.
So wait, you'd rather them be treated like an ATM though than a lab rat, right?
Yeah, that's where I was gonna.
Education is for communists.
It's so beyond an ATM too. You've got people who have like 20K or 40K in debt. They pay off 20K of it over like the course of, let's say, 10 years, and now that they've paid off that much, their debt is 80K. It's doubled.
Well, also, it's also like the most expensive tuition in Canada for students in the country is around, let's say, $10,000 a semester. At absolute top of the tier, worst possible amount, right?
Yeah.
And it usually ranges around $4,000 a semester, right? So in an entire undergrad and let's say college, you would obtain about $40,000 to $50,000 of debt. That would be in the place like the United States, like a couple of semesters, because it's 10, 20K a semester average. Like that's a standard rate. Like the tuition rates are so incredibly high that there's no like feasible way of even thinking about it, right? And also you have to think too, Canadian dollars, 4,000 Canadian dollars is only 3,000 US dollars, or
and like
10,000 is only 7,000 roughly. Right?
Like, and what does she mean? Like, she cannot sympathize with the parents who are allowing their children to get a booster shot. In what way you cannot sympathize with them? I don't get it. Like, you cannot sympathize that they are. Oh, okay. Or is it like she like cannot sympathize that they are in debt because of their child going to college?
No,
no.
Like for
I don't get it.
If the kids get poisoned by the vaccine.
Yeah,
like
because they're allowing them to get the vaccine so they can attend.
Like,
but they're totally fine with somebody who is 20, somebody who's 18, allowed to sign for an absurd amount of debt and it's something that they're socially pressured into getting or forced into getting in some cases.
Yeah, or make a decision to enter into military.
There's no capitalist there's no capitalist market for universities anymore. Not in America, for sure.
No.
There's no marketability. You are forced into this decision, and you were forced into this decision at an incredibly young age, considering the way America treats teenagers. And you don't have any other choice. There is no other options. But I don't know. I feel like we should probably start wrapping up. We are past the 2-hour mark, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
What do you guys think?
Yeah,
What? We are so far past the 2-hour. Yeah. Like,
It's been 2 hours and 10 minutes, roughly. It's not that
Ah,
bad.
see, we're not that bad.
Yeah, that's
We're doing okay.
That's not that bad.
Considering there was a lot to unpack with these people, I feel like we're gonna be back talking about this again sometime.
Yeah.
Yes, there's
I
so
guess
much here
to unpack.
Do you guys have a? What's your least favorite? What was your most favorite?
Well, I feel like it's just gonna be general consensus. That's like well, okay, actually, no, never mind. Because like in my opinion, ooh, okay, because the thing is like I think Candace is arguably the most harmful, but like Caitlyn Bennett's like the biggest troll, and then like classically Abby's just like kind of annoying, you know. It's like Morgan of Paul and Morgan kind of annoying.
Oh,
where like modern Paul and Morgan, not like conversion therapy. We're not talking 2017 Paul. We're talking like now Paul and Morgan. It's like okay, you know.
These are people who present themselves as like, yeah, I have your best interests in heart, but while beating you down.
But I don't. Right.
Yeah, like it's like whatever. And honestly, you could probably get talked out of it pretty easily if someone really tried. But then like Caitlyn Bennett's like devoted to the troll life, and then Candace Owens is like systemically harmful. So that's kind of why it's like
that's
yeah.
I kind of agree.
And it's like
Candace would be the most dangerous, you know, based on how much she's talking out there, what she's talking
because she also
about,
gets like political
clout getting involved
compared to everybody else.
She got clout, right? That's it. So it makes her
but like
much
on
more
a political
dangerous.
scale too, though, right? Like she goes on Fox News and stuff like that, right? I think she even has.
She's a spokesperson. Who's her?
She does.
Yes.
She has the spokesperson. She's a political commentary now. The other two, I'm sorry, Caitlyn's just a joke. To me, I can't even take that girl seriously. Like she's just a joke, okay? And the other one, I'm just disappointed in because I don't really think she believes this crap. I think she is just going and with the flow because she thinks like she can't really do anything about it. So I'm a bit disappointed because I could see it on her. She just seems to be, maybe I'm judging her, but she seems much too smart to be falling down this path. So I'm a little disappointed in her. But Caitlyn's a joke, and Candace is downright dangerous. Like that's the one. Because I don't even think she believes half the shit that's coming out of her mouth, and I think she knows that she's causing damage, and I don't think she cares. And that makes her even worse. Because I don't think she cares the damage she's causing.
She reminds me, Candace reminds me of Tommy Lahren. You know that chick?
Oh.
Yeah.
She reminds me of that. Tommy Lahren, though,
I see that.
She's phased out. Maybe because it's my YouTube preferences, I don't see her that much on YouTube. But I think so. She has her own channel and stuff. So this is what. Yeah, I think so. I also did that. So yeah. With Caitlyn, it's like she lives for that troll life, and she's trying to monetize it as much as she can. And with Abigail, it's like Shesh said, I agree with her. She's been put in this box, and she's trying to make the most of it. I think so. That's what she's trying to do. And and I think so. She's really convinced about what she talks about. Whereas Caitlyn, you kind of know she's just doing it for the trolling.
She's a joke.
And it's hers is a classic troll act, and you can see right through it. And I think so that's where she sits, Caitlyn. So but for Abigail, I'm just like, she's very well spoken and all. She could do a lot more better than what she's doing.
In conclusion,
if she really
classically Abby is B tier. And the rest of them can lick my balls. I don't know.
These nuts.
These nuts, though.
What? You were doing so good. Like, what the heck was that? All right, good. Try again, please.
Yeah, no, I think I agree. I think Abby.
No, I'm just chronically 20 years old.
I think I could be friends with Abby. I think I could talk to Abby and be able to have a conversation. I don't think I don't think there's any point.
I could tolerate her.
There's no point in trying to have a conversation with Caitlyn because she's just trolling, so she's just going to she's
not
it'd be like talking
that,
to
anyway.
It's like talking to a flat earther. You're not talking to somebody who's actually taking the issue seriously. You're talking to somebody who's just gonna repeat your argument back at you and be like as if like that is an argument. And Candace, I don't think you can have a conversation with Candace because I think she's just going to get angry and start screaming at you, and you would never actually be able to actually talk.
And twist everything you say into something else. And
but I kind of
tweet about it or something.
This has been a little bit interesting for me because I'm not very familiar with most of these women, so I think I'm actually probably going to watch more of Abby. Like, I think I'm going to watch more of Abby because I think that there's value to be had in the conversation she's trying to have, at the very least. And it seems like she is, in fact, trying to have a conversation, whereas the other two are just preaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, screeching.
Here's the thing. If Abby's actually trying to get that message out of respect for yourself, I mean, if that's actually the message that she's trying to portray, I'm all for it. But I'm not really getting that whole thing from her. At the same time,
I think
I'm not respect yourself.
And
she's
like
shaming
how it's
you. Yeah. She's shaming you at the same time. She's saying respect.
It's backhanded.
And it's like
whether she's aware of it though, I don't know. Whether she's aware of it that she's shaming people or not, I don't know, because some people can be very entitled and very removed. Like they're in so much in their bubble that they don't realize if they're coming across as like
I'll put it this way. Abby is earnest in what she wants for people and seems to want something that she believes is good. Abigail, or sorry, no, that's Abby. Caitlyn is a troll and doesn't give a shit. Troll. And Candace is Candace is malicious.
Yeah,
malicious. That's the word, because she knows she's causing harm, and she
wants to cause harm on purpose.
How she's she wants it on purpose, right? Yeah. And she's got this convoluted idea that that's her power, and that is a bad message for women.
It's a bully.
That is a bad message for Republicans. It's a bad message all the way around.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, let's get out of here.
Is Candace?
Yeah.
Sorry. Did Candace was born in 1989? Because she's just like a year junior to me if she was born in 1989, and when she's using that language uncancelable since 1989, I'm embarrassed on her behalf. I'm like,
we're all around the same age.
Well, I'm not
already
as they are. I don't think Abby is that much older than you, Mika.
Abby's like
28.
I'm quite young, right?
But she's
basically Abby 29. So that's almost a decade.
That's a little older than I thought. I must have been watching an older video. All right, let's get on out of here.
Okay.
Bye everybody.
Yeah, bye.
Have a good night, y'all.
It's been a blast.
Bye.
Have a good night. Thank you for listening.
When I saw the gauge of the criticism, I was like, oh, okay, so they're just really mad. I made them really mad.
I don't understand this. I really don't, but whatever. It's not my expertise. It's way out of my pay grade. I don't need to understand it.
There's some damn dumb fuckery going on here, Jeff. This is beyond. Like, this is just walking right into it with both their feet. I can't believe an adult would actually approach something this way.
I had full faith in you, but we are human after all.
As well as just be willfully ignorant because they don't want to watch longer than 5 minutes of a video. But that's none of my business.